Hello everyone. Now, I say everyone as if I'm talking to my vast audience of 7 billion, and I'm not entirely sure why I say that, but anyway, that's beside the point. So, I planned to do a video this week about how to have confidence in your compositions. So, I planned the video out, I made some bullet points, I filmed it, I was rather tired and in a bit of a rush when I filmed it, and then I've just finished editing it, and as I was editing it, I continuously found myself not wanting to edit it and procrastinating and multitasking and things like that. And when I had finished editing it, just the rough cut, just getting the speech together, I watched it through, and when I got to the end, the result was kind of truly awful. I mean, besides that, there are a couple of more things wrong with the video in that I look like I've been punched in one of my eyes, and also I say the word now like a billion times. Now. But the reason why the video was bad isn't really what I want to talk about today. It's the kind of decision-making process where you decide that you don't want to continue with something that you've been working on. Now, usually I find this very hard, especially when I've put time and effort into making something. So with this video, it took me a little while to set up because I was filming myself talking to the camera and I was using a new miking system, so that took a bit of time. And then of course planning it and actually talking to the camera and saying what I wanted to say, that also took time. And then of course the arduous task of editing my sort of very dull, monotonous voice that you are listening to right now also took time. So coming to the decision to scrap it is kind of hard. But I think it's a decision that is sometimes necessary. Now, I'm not saying by any means that what you're watching / listening to right now is miles, kilometers, and any other unit of measurement above what I was previously planning to do, though it probably is a little bit more insightful and a bit better. So how do we admit to ourselves that something is bad? For this video, I just knew because I was bored myself when I was editing it. But sometimes, especially with music that I've written, I'm not entirely sure whether I'm happy with it or not. So something I do is play it to someone else, and other composers have commented on this phenomena as well.
What's interesting is that you actually perceive your own music differently when somebody, like the director or somebody's in the room, and he's so conscious of every nuance that's going on with them. So at least I am.
Yeah, no,
like
the ear straight.
Yeah, so it's like you're hearing it differently while you're in the room with somebody else?
Yeah, you almost like hear it, and then if there's something that's problematic, sometimes you can almost anticipate it. I don't know, it's strange.
When you play it to someone else, even before they've given you feedback, you can kind of tell what's wrong with it, because having them in the room with you gives you more perspective and a different perspective on what you've done. So if you can get someone else's opinion, or even just get them to be present, which might alter your opinion, or perhaps not alter your opinion but reveal your true opinion, then that could be a great help. Because sometimes, even though in the back of your mind you know that something's wrong, well, for me anyway, I don't want to admit it, because I guess it's a kind of selfish, well, not selfish, but like self-centered thing of that I think what I do should be good immediately and not have to scrap anything or redo anything. But of course that's not true. Of course I have to scrap stuff and redo stuff. So I think that's the hardest part, really, actually realizing, or not realizing but believing that there is something wrong and you could do better. Now, luckily this happened with this particular video I'm talking about kind of in the middle of the process, because I think if it was towards the end of the process, if I'd done all the visuals and the music, I would kind of be at the stage where like, oh, I don't care, blah blah blah. And I'm going to try and not do that in the future. I'm going to try, even if I finish something, to be sure that I like it. But I suppose if I don't like something, I'd be less likely to continue with it, so that kind of would hopefully work out. But the problem with scrapping ideas like this for me is that I want to release new stuff every week. So if I've spent time on something, not only is it a bit annoying just because I've spent time on it and it's something I've made and it's a bit annoying, it also means I've got less time because now I'm going to have to do something else for this particular week's content. And that is when you go meta and talk about the video you scrapped in a new video. So I mean, this has kind of been an unstructured rambling about a thing that sometimes happens, and I need to convince myself to scrap ideas sometimes, and luckily I have this time. Maybe I should scrap this idea, I don't know, but we shall see. I think it might be useful for people to hear this, so it's fine to scrap ideas. This is me talking to myself. I'm going on and on and on. Thank you very much for watching, and have a nice day. Just a little PS as the outro's going. What you're hearing now is a piece I released last week called Sun Still Showers. So you can check that out in the link in the description. I'm not trying to sound like a radio presenter, and I'm probably failing anyway.